What's poppin', everybody? It's a Saber094 with a brand new deck profile. The cool, the swag, the horrifying. Finally, it is time to showcase my version of Darkrai VSTAR in the standard format. So, I've been meaning to use this card since the start, basically. Astro Radiator comes out. I want this card number one. Couldn't do so, and things are even harder for this card now, even more competition. But managed to get them, and I'm going to show you guys my version that I've used in the standard format. Obviously, this sort of a deck is going to be faster and more broken in expanded, but it's not going to be that much different. I believe there's enough support in the standard format, like the Ultra Balls, and you got the Dark Patches too. A lot of the good stuff that you want, that it can still be very effective. Plus, I guess less competition in standard. But I really just wanted to try and see if it can actually work, because this was a more of an overhyped, I guess, overrated card, and in the end it was Palkia that emerged the strongest Pokemon from Astral Radiance. I'm gonna find out, I guess, as we play, if this can actually be a decent Pokemon. It does have a few, shortcomings that are pretty fair in terms of the attack and a few other things. But let's not jump all over the place. Got the cards. Glad I'm going to be able to showcase this deck before Pokemon TCG Online shuts down. So starting with the basics. Gotta have the Darkrai V, 4 of this. I do want to open with this card if I can, and I do want to be able to see a couple of actually, super quick. So we max it out. It's not a spectacular, Darkness V. It does 2 for 50. That's kind of average. I would have rather it could do like 1 for 40. Dark Void, 130 for 3. This isn't so great either, but it's gonna give auto sleep. Maybe that can be helpful, but for the most part, it's just to evolve into the Darkrai V-Star. I was gonna say level X, but yeah, this definitely gives me the Darkrai level X vibes from Great Encounters, which is another reason why I love it so much. So the big guy, Darkrai V-Star. So in terms of stats and in terms of looking at the card on paper, this card is awesome. It's one of those cards that I like to give the perfect stamp, perfect grade. I mean, in terms of HP, 270, it's close to the 280 standard you sort of want to hit as a V-Star. It's excellent. So that's number one. The Star Abyss ability is also extremely good, the opposite of Arceus V-Star. Basically with this, you can grab 2 item cards from your discard pile, so it's like a double Junk Arm, double Dowsing Machine, just extremely good recovery effect, broken. And its attack, Dark Pulse, is pretty much the same attack as Greninja Zoroark GX had, the tag team one, of course. So maybe you could say it's a little bit weak, especially considering we're talking about a card from the Sun and Moon era. It's debatable, and I think this is why this card sort of is struggling a little bit, because you need a lot of darkness energies to do high damage, of course, but Pokemon nowadays, they've got more HP, they give away less prizes, that's the problem, and they do a lot more damage. The thing is with this guy is, you can't allow him to die. He has to take a big shot at least, because if he dies in one shot, you're in trouble, and that's really the problem. You got things like Lugia V-Star that can one-hit KO this guy if they really want to, and that's why he can sort of struggle. A bunch of other Pokemon getting a one-hit KO. Just a lot of Pokemon doing more damage than you with an easier setup. And for us, we just need to have a lot of darkness energies to do high damage. But Dark Pulse is still going to be pretty solid. With enough darkness energies, you can get 2 hit KOs and even 1 hit KOs very easily. So this is what we're going to try and do with this deck. Main attacker. Alright. Our other main Pokemon, our backup, and our greatest support partner, it's going to be this Galarian Moltres V. I run 2 of these. It makes just absolute sense to run this card with Darkflame Wings. You can grab a Darkness Energy every turn for free from your discard pile. Now obviously if you could do multiple of these per turn, it would have been broken as all fuck, but you can't. And this is what sort of maybe limits Darkrai as well, speed-wise. This is still pretty good as well. It could make for a backup attacker too, you never know. Good Pokemon. Same grass weakness, which sucks a little bit, but it's okay. We'll work with it. So 2 of this, and then I've got the 1 Galarian Moltres, the regular one, This is just a regular Pokemon giving me that regular attacker, I guess. Just something to hit. Maybe Miltank, any other random wall Pokemon like Decidueye. I've got the damn perfume here, the broken one. I'm going to talk about it later. But this is just a nice regular Pokemon that can be a great revenge Pokemon, committing only one prize. And it gets you darkness energies when you play it down. You can get up to 2, which is also pretty good. Comboing with this deck, makes sense to have it. I'm not doing more because of space and because we want to dump energies as opposed to adding them in hand. We don't have Professor's letters and stuff in standard, making this more difficult. So one of this guy, and then the other Pokemon just straight support. I mean, Radiant Greninja, it's draw power, discard. So many decks run this because it's just so broken, just gives you such great synergy. And in this deck, it makes perfect sense as well. I've got the one random Manaphy for some bench protection. Random sniping stuff, you never know, maybe it can be big. So I've got this guy, might as well just have more basics so that we don't mulligan all day. And then the one Crobat V, it's a darkness Pokemon too. And it's going to give us that dark acid draw. Very nice as well. Just hope don't open with it. Alright. I think it should be 10 basics, I think. It's 5, 6, 8, yeah, exactly 10, which is the lowest that I usually want to go for. But space is really tight. We need a lot of darkness energies and a lot of trainers too. And unfortunately, I have to waste space for shit text like this. So this is a very broken card, but other decks can utilize it better. A deck like ours that needs a lot of support and a lot of stuff to work just to gather those darkness energies, you know, I put it in here because I don't really have any other way to hit a wall Pokemon like Miltank, and I did auto lose to that, so I was like, fuck it, I gotta put this in, and I had to drop Choice Belt, something that's really key on giving us more attack, but I had to do it. I can't really drop anything else from here. So putting the Cologne in, and I guess the good news with this is that we can actually recover it and reuse it. If I don't use this guy's Star Abyss, depending on what I see my opponent has. Like if I see Miltank, if I think he's running Miltank and shit, then obviously we're going to have to try and save Galarian Moltres and have this in hand as well to deal with that shit. So that's the point. This is a very broken card, but I mean, I just wish I didn't have to run it, but you kind of have to. Anyway, so next up is going to be all of our discard outlets slash consistency that you gotta favor heavily in this deck. So you max out the quick ball, get your basics in hand, and discard darkness energies, and then the triple ultra ball. Grab any Pokemon and double discard. Okay, grab this guy too, the VSTAR. Okay, we got the 4 trekking shoes as well. Straight discard draw, making this deck more turbo. I like that you have the option when you first draw. Of course, you don't have to discard the card if you want it, which is great. It's not like the Acrobike, so I think this is superior for sure. So very nice. If we reveal a good card we don't want to dump, we can still grab it and we don't lose anything. So perfect. And the one incense, not a discard outlet, but just something extra to get Darkrai VSTAR. Just another consistency card. That's good. No cost. That can be handy. And then grab a few energies. Double energy search. This would have been much better if it was Professor's Letter, but don't have it. Energy Search, it's a deck thinner card. Once again, maybe some people think it's ass, but as I've said, we don't have anything better. Only water gets the Capacious Bucket double plus. But with this, I can grab the Darkness Energy, discard it with Quick Ball, discard it with Greninja. So it's pretty good. A deck thinner card, such a card. It works in this deck, you know, speeding things up, grabbing us our energies. Alright. And then I do, what else do we got here? I guess the other items, standard stuff, it's the Dark Patch, 4 of these, broken. Get a lot of darkness energies on the field from your discard pile. And of course, you can reuse this with Darkrai VSTAR. This is the number one card that you would want to reuse because it's too good. Just gives you more damage, more energies in play. And yeah, it's crazy that this is around. This guy has this sort of a Star Abyss effect. And this guy can't be like top tier. But anyway, got the double switch as well. I do need a few switching outlets in this deck. So that when we retreat, we don't lose energies. If something gets stuck, bad opening Pokemon. I like having a few switching outlets as usual. And that's basically the items. I did have Choice Belt before, but I had to drop it. I had to drop a bunch of stuff. I had to include stadiums because Path to the Peak was fucking me up. So I had to include this Temple of Sinnoh, the Parthenon Stadium. So we're running this because it doesn't hurt us, number one. And a lot of Pokemon, special energies, are seeing a lot of play. And this is going to stop a lot of shit. It's going to mess with Arceus. It's going to mess with a bunch of other Pokemon that run the Turbo DCs, that run, Fusion Strike energies. It's just a bunch of shit. It hurts. It doesn't hurt us. So might as well. I thought it's better to have this as opposed to Dynatree Heal. This is going to put in more work. Okay. And it doesn't affect us. And what else do we got? I think I covered everything besides the supporters. I did not miss everything. It's just a lot of things played in 3s and 4s. But the counter stadium is important. The Cologne is important just in case, you do play against Miltank or some shit or Decide Eye. You want to have some sort of out. This is pretty good. Now, ideally, you can still use this to stop an opponent's power, like stop, let's say, Palkia V-Star from using its effect. But it's not really going to come up. It's mostly for Miltank. And that's it. Supporter cards, we run some standard stuff, the triple Professor Research, heavy duty draw, and a discard outlet as well. I've got 4 Marnies, Disruption, solid draw, not that solid for me, 5, I wish it was 6, but it gives you that disruption. The 1 Skyla, always like to have this around, never know what we can grab. And then the Copycat 2, which is actually pretty effective, I would say, these days. A lot of decks just fill their hand with a lot of stuff, like the Fusion Strike deck and all of the Comfy decks that draw all day, do straight draw with Chorus. So usually this is going to give you a lot of cards. Now sometimes it can suck, but I sort of like it. And because we're not really meant to be dying easily, I'd rather have this than something like Cynthia's Ambition, maybe some other cards. Don't even have a lot of space for a lot of supporters, and you don't want to be seeing a bunch of supporters together. That's the problem. It's just a fine line of the different numbers of the cards you have to have if you want to have your text too. Okay, and then a new addition in this deck is this lady right here. So this was a card that got released in the Sun and Moon era with different artwork, and it saw a little bit of play, not much. Some Magnezone decks used it. But I think in this deck, I want to have a heavy-duty energy grabber, like her. 4 basic energies from the deck, 4 darkness energies pretty much. And we've got this guy for a little bit of draw. We've got a lot of discard outlets. So a lot of the times, if you can just grab a bunch of darkness energies, discard them with Ultra Ball, to get your Darkrai VSTAR out, you have a couple of dark patches, you resolve them, then you use this guy's effect, get them again, resolve them again, then it's going to be ready to go, and she's going to do the job basically. So one of her can be decent. Now obviously if you don't want to get darkness energies, you want to draw different cards, she's not going to help you. But just one teched in, you never know. If we see this in the beginning, see this at the right time, it could be pretty good. And then last card, Boss's Orders, of course. Don't fucking tell me why I'm not running Serena. It's what I've said before. This guy just lets me grab anything I want. If I want to pull a regular Pokemon or like a Radiant Pokemon or whatever the fuck, I can use this to pull. I can't do this with Serena. Now I guess Serena is a discard outlet, which is good, but her days are going to be limited, especially when the EX Pokemon come out. She's not going to be able to pull them because it's fixed on V Pokemon. So, yeah, boss's orders, I prefer this. Just more consistent, just more simple stuff. I'm a simple guy at the end of the day. I like to keep things simple if I can. Alright, and then 13 Darkness Energies. We want a lot because we want to get our manual attachments every turn, and we also want to be discarding a lot too. So that's why. Plus, you do want to have a few to reap this Moltres' benefit as well, if you can. Indeed. Poor Call Legends one's gonna go away. So sad, man. But anyway, so this is the deck, guys. I'm gonna show you guys matches that I always show you guys. It's gonna be in the standard format. Look forward to it. This guy, I want to get some really great wins. I want to put in some real work, and I guess prove to everyone that this guy can't be a good card. But I mean, at the same time, if better players, I guess more professional players, tried him and couldn't make him work, I guess who am I to say shit? Hopefully, I can just put in some decent work at least, get some good matches going, and do get some wins. I mean, it all comes down to a consistent setup, what your opponent has, and not dying in one shot, basically. If you could do that, you'll be pretty good. But I have to admit, the fact that this guy can die to Lugia VSTAR instantly with a few powerful colorless energies, it does make him kind of sad. Oh well. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the deck. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you guys on the matches. Sabro 54. Was I?